It is cloudy outside, but it is sunny inside my mind right now. Jason Shear, we have very, very good news that broke about an hour ago. Trey Townsend has committed to the University of Arizona. You did not like Trey Townsend initially. You now like Trey Townsend. Sure, we are all on board the Trey Townsend wagon. This is very true.
Yeah. It's a matter of like, I thought there would be better power forwards in the portal. There really never were that
Come
many
on,
better.
you need to put that part in there.
Right. But I think Townsend's fine. I think a couple things are negatives with him are being a little bit overstated by some people. And clearly playing for Tommy Lloyd makes you a better offensive player. So let's roll it out. Let's see what happens.
Now, there's some slander going on about me on the chat right here that we will address immediately. I do not care if Trey Townsend shoots a couple threes a game. I am totally okay with that. I like Trey Townsend because he can do other things. He is a better player than Javier Amos or whatever the guy's name.
Javier?
What's his name?
Xavier. Javier.
Javier Amos. I turned him into a middle reliever for the Mets. But he is a better player. He is a better player. He can get his. Arizona needs people that can get theirs. He can get his. And sure, people will be like, well, he didn't. It took him 17 shots to get his 24 points. I do not care. Under Tommy Lloyd, it will be more efficient. He has the capability of doing that. Javier Amos. I can't believe I said that. Xavier Amos could not do that. Yes, Sheer, this is good news for Arizona. We are very excited. And the Spacers out there are crying a tear, and I am laughing at the Spacers.
Yeah, I mean, the guy can clearly go get buckets, right? Like we saw it on TV, and the efficiency may not be there all the time, but he still wants to go score. Like he's not going to disappear and be like, where's Trey Townsend? Like he wants to go get a bucket. That's more important than people think, because I still go back to the Princeton game. There was no one on that team that wanted to get a bucket. Against Clemson, Caleb Love and Jaden Bradley wanted to get buckets. It's just that Caleb's weren't going in. If I think this is even a better addition if Caleb doesn't come back, because I think you see that they have that guy that wants to go get a bucket like Townsend. If Caleb does come back, all of a sudden you have multiple guys in the lineup that can score. I don't have a problem with it. I worry about a couple things with him, but it's not to the point where I'm like, oh crap, Arizona's screwed.
I have no problem, again, with him shooting a couple threes. That is fine, but I am not taking a player that is half of the quality of him because he will take one more three per game. No, Shoe, go away. We will not have any of that. Now, I also believe, too, that he is going to be more efficient under Tommy Lloyd because, again, Tommy Lloyd has shown that. Caleb Love became more efficient under the Tommy gun. Keyshawn Johnson showed that he could shoot a couple threes under the Tommy gun. Tommy gun knows what he's doing offensively. And the other underrated part about this, too, is you're losing Umar Ballo, leader of men. And the big part about losing Umar Ballo, leader of men, is all the rebounds that he gets. Now, you bring in Trey Townsend, who is a big-time rebounder, and you put him next to Mount Crevis. That also solves another problem.
Yeah, I mean, it's with Townsend, the only thing I worry about is defense. That's literally the only thing. I think he'll be fine rebounding.
You're not worried about the spacing.
Not really. I think he'll be fine scoring. His defense bothers me. Only two reasons. One, I've never seen him guard man to man. They played a 95% zone. It's interesting. Maybe he is a good defender. I don't know. I think that part is curious, but they're going to have some depth in the front court. They've landed their starter. Now they're going to kind of shift to Toby and put the full court press on him. And I think we're at a point where we did this last year and Tommy Lloyd proved a lot of people wrong. We're doing it again this year, and Tommy Lloyd's going to prove a lot of people wrong. And it's the way it's going to be.
I just remember, by the way, I love Erica and Kobe in these comments about how they spent the entire time going at each other. It is very, very, very funny. All right. But I also like, though, look at what Tommy Lloyd did last year. A lot of people were worried about Jaden Bradley. He can't shoot. A lot of people were worried about Caleb Love. Well, he's just not good. They turned out okay for Arizona. You got to trust Tommy Lloyd with this. Now, when it comes to internationals, I totally get it if you want to be a little bit skeptical of these. But domestic, as far as transfer portal guys, there hasn't really been somebody that he struck out on. Even Sed Henderson was was a decent player. Ramey was okay. Nobody that he's brought in has sucked, Jason Shearer. This is true, unless I'm forgetting somebody.
I don't think so. There's been guys that maybe didn't meet the hype. I think Ramey didn't necessarily meet the expectations, but even like Justin Kier was fine. Like he wasn't outstanding, but he did what Arizona needed him to do.
Right. For sure. So again, I think that he's got, and also another thing about Trey Townsend that I like a great deal. He has some pretty nice assist numbers in certain games. He's clearly a cerebral player. You look up and down his stat, there's a lot of 4 assist games, 5 assist games, 4 assist games, a couple 6 assist games in there. I like him a great deal, Jason Shearer. We are going to embrace Trey Townsend. We are going to back the Trey on this show.
Look at you. By the way, KJ Lewis, first comment on Townsend's commitment that says, let's get it.
We are going to get
that. That doesn't sound like a guy that's stuck on leaving.
Yes, we are going to get to this. We're going to get to this in a minute. But either way, this is good news for Arizona. Now, let's talk a little bit more about possible other big men. Toby Awaka. Toby Awaka would fit in nice here as well. Now, again, the Spacers would not like him because he's not going to shoot a bunch of threes, but I would still like him even though the Spacers would not.
Yeah, I like Toby. If you want to do the fake stat, which I hate, the per 40, but it's one of the stats we can use because it helps us. His per 40 rebound numbers would be unreal.
Right.
Like he is a very good rebounder. He's a 5-man in my opinion. He adds depth that is ready. Emmanuel Steven, I think, has a bright future. I do not believe, and you're on the same page as me, he is ready to play considerably as a freshman. Toby would come in, be able to defend right away. Really good rebounder, duck and seal type of guy. It's Arizona. What's funny is by getting Trey Townsend, Arizona probably added Ohio State as competition for Toby because I assume that Ohio State will try to get in on that now.
Here's what I got with Awaka, though. By the way, I love the name Toby Awaka. That is an amazing name. Toby Awaka, here's what I tell him. Listen, and again, this will probably go against the Vasar thing. I do not care. I will believe that Henry's good when I see it. I would love to be wrong on Henry, though. Again, we could do a whole my bad Henry thing, and I would be very proud to be part of that movement. But here's what I say to him. Man, listen, you got all the backup minutes behind Mount Crevis and Trey Townsend. That's what I would do. Jason Shearer.
Yeah. Yeah. And then Walker's, he's going to be, look, they believe the coaching staff being that Henry will be a part of the rotation, but let's just assume he's not. You have Crevis, you have Townsend, you're going to get Carter in at the 4 a little bit. And now, you would have Toby. There's plenty of minutes to go around.